All right, our fellow Strokers, today we are going to be tier listing all the Strokes albums.
Yep.
We're going to kind of debate if we got a little bit of a different placement on something and then compromise in the end, like every loving relationship.
Yeah.
Starting with Is This It, their first album. Where do you think this should go on the tier list?
So I'm going to be controversial here. This is not my first or second favorite Strokes album. It's really good. I think it was a formative album for the scene. My problem is I listened to it maybe 2-3 times and I don't get anything out of it after that.
Seriously?
I think it has some really great songs. Obviously, Soma being my favorite song by the Strokes, probably. Modern Age, Hard to Explain. It's full of hits, but it's something that I kind of nowadays for me just goes in one ear out the other. I'd put it like in the A tier still, but it's not.
You got a few hits, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You might have some accurate hits. I'll admit that.
Okay, Is This It for me? Thing I like about it is very raw rock music that's not doing any extra stuff, because I do not think the Strokes have shown they have the capability of doing extra stuff most of the time.
Right.
I like the industrial. They got Gordon Raphael, I believe his name is pronounced, who worked in industrial music before. Then he produced this album, and he really is like responsible for that nice, crunchy distortion on Julian's vocals that I like so much. To me, this album has a bunch of catchy songs. There's nothing where I'm like bored at any point. So for me, it is an S tier. So do we want to put this in A or S tier?
I mean, for what it did for the genre, let's just put it in S.
Yeah. Okay. Next one up is Room on Fire here. What's your kind of thoughts on this one?
So I love this album, Room on Fire. I think it's improved as the songs are more memorable on this album. I like the more experimentation. Like, I like that synthesized guitar that Nick Valenci does on 1251. It's something that's so catchy and it like sticks in my brain. Whatever Happened is a great opening song. I love how that song just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds, cuts off, then goes into Reptilia.
Cuts off for an extended period of time.
That is the worst part of this album. I don't know who produced this.
Right? Oh, yeah. Check that out. I heard a little clam happening.
But you cannot disrupt an album's flow by having these stupid 10-second breaks in between each song. I don't know.
Specifically 10-second breaks, not the end of a song, but the beginning of the next song.
Like, you're supposed to listen to an album like as a sequence.
Yeah.
You're not supposed. So that's what kind of takes this album down a little bit for me. But I'd put this one in S tier. I love this album.
This one, like we were talking about in our review of Reality Awaits, they were gonna work with Godrich. Is that how you pronounce it?
Nigel Goodrich.
Same thing, like I said. Stole the words out of my mouth.
Yep.
They ended up going back with the same producers. The first one that sounds like just slightly more compressed and cleaner than the new one, but not in a bad way, because they had some room to do that before it would get like too much.
Right.
Reptilia is probably my favorite song of theirs of all time.
Really?
And that is on this album. To me, it's less songs that are catchy to me than the first album, but it's like a nice, clean, cohesive listen all the way through, which I really appreciate. There's nothing I would want to really skip on this album. Right. So I'm fine with, I would do A tier. I am fine with S tier. So we moved mine up, so we'll move yours up.
Democracy works.
Democracy works. All right, next album, First Impressions of Earth. I'll start this one off. They switched the producer on this one is kind of the biggest issue, I feel like. I do not think the production is that interesting to me whatsoever. The songs sound cleaner once again, but I feel like Room on Fire was like the perfect amount of clean. I did not want them to get even cleaner. Sometimes there's kind of cheesy sound choices on it. I like that they're writing full-fledged songs. They're trying to do more interesting chords. They just lost a lot of the catchiness to me, so it's not one that I particularly want to go. They did more experimenting on the songwriting, but it's less catchy and there's less experimentation on the production to me. That actually sounds good and pays off. So for me, this is more B tier.
Really? So I can't stand this album. I think this album is boring.
Okay.
I think I hate the song Juice Box. I think it's annoying. I think it's just It's just something about that song just irritates me.
Okay.
And I don't like it. 15 Minutes and Red Light are like two of the most forgettable. Like if you listen to those songs, you would not know they were the Strokes because they just sound like basic indie rock. So I don't like those ones either. This album is way too freaking long. It does not need to be 52 minutes long.
Yeah, it's not even that long. It's 52 minutes. Sometimes it feels a little longer than it is.
15 minutes feels 15 minutes long, but it's 4 minutes long. I love Vision of Division with that heavy rock riff because they don't really go real heavy, but I really love that song. Same with Heart in a Cage. It has an edge to it, but I just feel like it doesn't really fit them that well.
Okay.
You Only Live Once, I've never really cared for either. The opening song, I don't know why that one's such a hit. But my three favorite songs are Vision of Division, Heart in a Cage, and Razor Blades. I don't think this album is very good. I'd put it in the D tier. I think this is their weakest, except for the album that's coming in a couple places, which we're going to get to. This is like a 4.5 out of 10 album for me.
Okay, so we'll compromise in the C tier then.
Okay.
I'm actually kind of fine with C tier thinking about it. To me, I think if this was not written by the Strokes and I listened to it, it would have gone in one ear and out the other. I don't think this is like a very memorable rock album. It is not bad to me like it is to you. I think it's still a very good album, like in the grand scheme of music, but for a band of this popularity, it's kind of underwhelming.
Yes.
And unmemorable. Okay, next we got Angles. This one I do not have a very strong opinion on. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's great. I think it's a lot like the cleaner cut than First Impressions of Earth. It's more straight to the point. Sometimes the vocals sound buried in it to me a little bit. I like that some of the songs go in a little dancier direction, which is kind of why I would hope they would do more in the future. I do not like this super repetitive intro track, Machu Picchu or whatever. Really? But it's got, like I said, a tighter track list. To me, it's about the same as First Impressions of Earth. But how about I might like it a bit more because it's not as long.
Yeah. So this album, first off, I love the song Under Cover of Darkness. With the way that the rhythm guitar, that's what I'm talking about, their rhythm section. The rhythm guitar and the lead guitar playing off each other on there. Bam, bam, bam. Really fun. Reminds me of like old classic rock songs. I love the lyrics on this album, like on Under Cover of Darkness. He kind of makes fun of people who just praise their debut album. Everyone's been singing the same song for 10 years. That's such a memorable lyric. But overall, I like the experimentation on this album. I always like the song Taken for a Fool, even if it does have like a dance breakdown for no reason in the middle of it. Gratisfaction is probably my favorite because it reminds me of Steely Dan. The way the rhythm, the way, I don't know, it just reminds me of it, that yacht rock. My biggest problem with this album is it just feels like they're going through the motions. It's like, oh, this sounds like our debut album. This sounds like it. And then they just throw some experimentation on top of it, slap it together, and call it a Strokes album. They do feel more locked in, but they don't feel focused. It's still, this is the beginning of Julian just throwing whatever the heck on an album. Because songs like Games, which are way too repetitive, and Metabolism, like, he could have left those off, or if he didn't want to leave them off, actually flesh them out instead of having them be so repetitive. So I would put this one in the B tier.
B tier, okay.
Yeah.
We can do B tier for that one. That works for me. I like how we're putting like all the onus on Julian Casablanca specifically.
He's the leader of the band.
He's the leader of the bunch. Son of John Casablancas, as seen in the Epstein files.
Yeah. Hey, at least Albert Hammond's dad's pretty cool. He did It Never Rains in California.
Dang. Well, at least Julian Casablancas has gone to critiquing capitalism from writing a song like Barely Legal. He's got that Amazon crime shirt on, so he has moved past his father's sins.
There we go.
I do have to pause for a second. I do not think anything on Angles sounds like yacht rock.
Gratisfaction?
To me, yacht rock is like taller tertian chords, like jazzy kind of chords with like a rock, but like rock instruments.
Maybe people just throw Steely Dan in the yacht rock, so maybe that's why.
Next one, we got Come Down Machine. This song has, if you liked buried vocals, this is the album for you. We got some buried vocals on here. I do not get why people like the outro track. I laughed multiple times while listening to this album randomly because I feel like comedy is often like a very abrupt switch. And you will have, like, there's one point he's, like, whispering almost, and then the drums start, like, going really fast. I don't know. Welcome to Japan, I did not like. There's some really ugly syncopated claps on Happy Endings, which was also very distracting to me. Overall, I think they're trying to experiment, but they didn't actually take the time to come up with an idea that's worth experimenting. What do you think?
This album tricks you. The first 3 songs, Tap Out, All the Time, and One Way Trigger, are actually pretty good. I like the first 3 songs. Then this album puts a brick on the gas and goes off a cliff. It just... I blame this album for the reason why all these indie rock artists in the mid to late 2010s just like, oh, we're making lo-fi music and we just throw a bunch of freaking demos on an album and call it lo-fi music.
Yeah.
Why is Call It Fate, Call It Karma so popular? It's annoying and just boring.
And it's interesting chord progression that is almost cheesy, the amount it's been done and how it's not transformed on this album.
80s Comedown Machine sucks. Welcome to Japan sucks. There's no substance to any of the lyrics. He could basically, I feel like he's singing about nothing for like 90% of this album. And like with Angles, they're just going through the motions. They feel like they're not focused. They're not making focused songs. So this one, I'd put in the D tier with
I completely agree with D tier on Comedown Machine.
This. Yeah.
This is also how they have shown you 3 times in a row. They are great at perfecting the most non-unique album art of all time. All right, New Abnormal. Speaking of non-forgettable album arts,
the great Basquiat did the album art for this one.
Why didn't they just take one of his pre-existing
the painting,
paintings? New Abnormal. This is how I wish they progressed from the first 2 albums. I do not think they should try to... I don't think they write interesting enough chord progressions to try to experiment musically. I like that they experiment production and instrument choice on this album. They're very straightforward songs. I like how they have unexpected endings a lot of times. Like Adults Are Talking randomly builds up at the end. It does that a couple different songs. Really, really love this album. It's really nice to listen through very quickly. Making Bad Decisions got those nice nostalgic guitar tones on them. My issue with the album is there's a couple songs like Why Are Sundays Depressing that just feel like they are the verse to a song that's supposed to have a big chorus, and then they go on for like 5 or 6 minutes. So I feel like that happens at about like 3 songs on the album. When you got a 9-song track list, I believe it is, that's a big chunk of the album where it's missing a chorus. For me, this is an amazing album. This is the best they've done since their first 2, and it's kind of A tier for me.
Nice. This is my favorite Strokes album.
Oh, dang.
I remember when this album came out, during COVID, I went to a Target with a mask on, and I bought this CD, and I looped this thing. Like, I love every single song. Adults Are Talking is such a great opening track, sets the tone perfectly. I like how they randomly have, like, the studio chatter at the end.
Yes,
they're kind of, like, noodling around on the guitar.
It kind of makes the album weirdly cohesive.
Yeah, it's kind of real intimate. At the Door is the best he does with auto-tune. I love...
is there auto-tune on that? I didn't even notice.
Yeah, it's vocoded or something.
Oh, okay.
Like on the bridge when he's doing those high vocals and stuff, and even like the lyrics are really great. Probably their best written song in my opinion, At the Door. Very poetic.
Yeah.
Love Eternal Summer. Has like that chill kind of vibe to it. Love the guitars on that one. Bad Decisions is a little forgettable, but I like it.
Okay.
The best song though, and I'm going to tell a story real quick. Try and be quick. This song, Ode to the Mets, one of my favorite songs of all time, and it really speaks to you, the lyrics. It gets you. Like, I remember we were at a trip with our friends, and we were playing this song around the campfire, and I just well, I'm with my friends. I just got emotional listening to the lyrics to this song. I love the way it builds and the vocals. The story behind this song is he was waiting at a Subway after the Mets lost the wild card game in 2016. And he was kind of reflecting on his life, how, the past 30 years they never won a championship, but he still goes to all their games and stuff. It's kind of a really intimate song. And I love how he ties in like his life with that. And it's a beautiful song. And this is my favorite Strokes album. And I put it in S tier, but I'll compromise with A tier.
I would do S if it didn't have those drawn out songs. That's a point you made that I forgot to make. It is the most easy to emotionally connect to Strokes album. It's the only Strokes album I emotionally connect to.
Right.
Is the whole Brooklyn Bridge, the chorus, want new friends, but they don't want me. It just seems like he's writing more about himself instead of trying to be a shoddy philosopher.
Right.
Which I really appreciate. It has like some like quips on it. But next, the Final Destination, Purgatory Auto-Tune itself. We are talking about Reality Awaits.
Oh boy.
I'll let you start this one off.
So
we're in our cowboy attire.
Yes,
for as
flannel.
close as we got to cowboy attire for this.
So this album is, like I said in our review, just feels like Sony Music told them, hey guys, we need a new Strokes album. It's been 6 years since your Grammy Award winning New Abnormal. Hey, do you have a weekend in Costa Rica? Yeah, we'll fly the Maharaja of indie rock, Rick Rubin himself down. And
The Dalai Lama of rock music.
And he can put his fake quotes up and help you produce this album. And it just feels very thrown together. It doesn't feel focused, but it has some great guitar work. Like I said, I like that it seems like they're working together as a band. They have the rhythm sections are great. Love Going to Babylon. Hate the opening song and Falling Out of Love. I'm willing to do B or C, whichever you want. You can be the tiebreaker.
You want B tier for this album?
Yeah, it's like a 6 out of 10.
Nah, for me, it's gotta be a bit lower. So, like you said, this does really sound slapped together. Like, they did not spend a lot of time pre-writing this. I'm sure they had some ideas going into the recording session, but then they kind of we need to somehow take a few ideas and create a whole album in a weekend in like an Airbnb album to me. I think this is kind of like I said in our review, the thing that annoys me about this album is you are so fortunate that you have this rabid, huge fan base that will listen to anything you do. And instead of taking the time to write a good album, you're like, all right, boys, it's time to tour. We need an album to tour. Let's whip this thing in a week. A lot of our thoughts are in a review, so I won't go too in depth. I think this is basically the new abnormal if you took the long drawn out songs that are lacking choruses and made those the main point of the album and then slapped a bunch of auto-tune on them. To me, this is a C tier at the best. What did we give, what did we put Comedown Machine?
D.
So this is a D tier for me. You said B or C, so we can compromise at C if you want. Okay. I will, for the record, this is D for me, but I will move it up to C as an olive branch. All right. Well, subscribe to the channel and let us know who we should review and rank next. Subscribe to John's channel.
Yep.
He's been increasing his production quality and has doing some new editing and things like that on his channel.
Big video coming soon.
Big video coming soon. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
You don't like her? Kind of that when she was going.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's kind of bad attitude punk style, no?
Okay, maybe.
You know.
Yeah, my favorite punk artist.
But they don't
You want
want me.
C tier?
What?
B tier? I didn't know you hated the album that much.